I think it took me over a year and a half to find the right clip where Hoodie Guy says something like, they're going to get you girls, or they're going to get you for that Maddie. To my Mental Health and Crime channel. My name is Hoodie London. This is the case of the Idaho quadruple murders. I'll be going through all the articles that I could find from the beginning, whether it was on social media. They all are allegedly. These are speculations, and this is for entertainment purpose only. Came across this article. This person wrote, I don't know if I should post this, but I'm originally from Moscow, and most of my family still lives there. Yesterday, someone I know that still lives there called me and told me that they had just spoken with the police. Long story short, he works with a guy who had for months been wearing a hunting knife to work on his belt and was asked not to bring it to work anymore. And the guy made a big deal about it, refused and continued to wear it to work. Then after the murders, he no longer wore the knife to work. When asked by co-workers where the knife was and was asked to produce it, he refused and threatened to sue for harassment. In addition, the person was known for being punctual and not missing work, and would even come in on days not scheduled. The day and the week after the murders, he was a no-call, no-show to work. And lastly, the night of the murders, he was in vicinity of the food truck. Wow. He refused and threatened to sue for harassment. In addition, this person was known for being punctual and not missing work, and would even come in on days not scheduled. The day and the week after the murders, he was a no-call, no-show to work. And lastly, the night of the murders, he was in the vicinity of the food truck at the same time the victims were there. The person I know said that the person in question has given off weird vibes the entire time they've worked together. Supposedly, no one on the crew likes working with him because of his weird behaviors. Maybe it's a lot of coincidence. And because of that, I'm not going to publicize or name him. But the police seemed very interested in his info. Hopefully it'll lead somewhere. Family, do you all remember we spoke about the grub truck several times? I believe there were a lot of weird people at the grub truck doing weird things. We had the guy chucking his food. He was dropped by a white car and he left with a white car. The thing is, Idaho is a hunting town, so everyone carries, I guess, K-bar knives and such large knives around. For harassment and stalking them. He was giving them weird vibes at the corner club. Before that, he got kicked out from the Delta fraternity, I believe. So he couldn't live there anymore. his parents are well off, so they moved him to an apartment that was just 2 minutes walk from the girls' flat. So there has been a lot going on with John Jack Showalter, allegedly. I remember Kaylee's father said that he was ruled out too early. And Kaylee's father said that he doesn't believe a DNA test was taken of him. Kaylee's father, Steve, said that John Jack Showalter drove up to his cabin that is almost 6 hours away. This was the fraternity that John Showalter used to go to. I think it's called the Delta or Dels. And he was thrown away from the fraternity because of harassments. I wonder what his timeline was like, because we could clearly see that he was upset that the girls left without him. He even used the F word and waved his hand, and he looked like he was going in a rush. So this is just allegedly. Now picture if this John Jack Showalter was upset with the girls and he got thrown out of the corner club, allegedly, because the girls reported him for harassment. Woman who said her niece was at the corner club that day and she witnessed John Jack Showalter bothering the girls, harassing them. He was being creepy. And I'm starting to wonder, this is just a theory. Allegedly, it's just a speculation. Could it be possible when Kaylee asked Maddie, what did you tell Adam? She said, I told Adam everything. Could it be that they were indirectly talking about John Jack Showalter? We've heard the girl that used to work with him in Boise. Yesterday I read the article who put it online in the beginning and said that if this is the guy you are dealing with, then you'll need to investigate him further. Because she said he was really creepy at work to the point that I had to slap him. And she said it went down in my record for that. So this was obviously a person who wasn't lying, because she's trying to tell us you can confirm that it went into my record for that. So what was John Jack Showalter Jr.'s timeline that day? Because let's not forget, he was the last person who was seen in the grub truck with Maddie and Kaylee. And they clearly ran away from him. I don't understand why people say, oh, he was a good gentleman, he was escorting them. Why would they run from him if he was escorting them? That means he was the problem. They reported him to the corner club for being creepy, and it seems like he was the only person who actually left, allegedly left Moscow that night. We don't know what time he left Moscow. We heard allegedly that he went to his parents' cabin, and we know that his parents are rich doctors. We heard that they went to South Africa after that. Allegedly. He loves carrying K-bar knives and hunting large knives. that Jack D has gone to the same high school. I'm not sure about that part, but I know that he used to live in Boise too. And people in his fraternity and people who know him said that he changed drastically. You can see he looks like a young, handsome man there. But then we could see him in the grub truck. He looked like he was struggling for whatever reason. And allegedly there's been a lot of talk about Eaton Chapin, may rest in peace, reported him and got him kicked out of the Delta fraternity. So he must be carrying a lot of grudge, allegedly. And the girls, Maddie and Kaylee, reported him. Complaints from Maddie and Kaylee, may they rest in peace, about harassment, and for Steve Gongalves to say that he believes he was cleared too soon, I can understand clearly, because his behavior is very antisocial personality disorder symptoms. He's been involved with arson, burning down places. He loves cutting animals in two, trigger warning. He lived closest to the girls. And I'm sure he drives because he drove to Boise. His parents have a lot of influence with the mayor of Boise and many other people. So could he have been one of the 3 unidentified DNA that was found there? Or is it the 4 figures that were running around, up to no good? Let's not forget that Jack Showalter clearly told Maddie, we're going to get you for that, Maddie. Or he said, they're going to get you for that, Maddie. That is actually a threat, a proper threat. I heard that the police called him and spoke to him over the phone. What if Jack S. had the K-bar knife, since he's so skilled with hunting, and he's the only person who drove out of Moscow that night? Could he have hidden the weapon in Boise, Idaho? There were rumors that he went to South Africa, which actually I don't believe, but we know for a fact that he drove 6 hours to Boise, Idaho. Could it be possible that he was driving a white car, a white Hyundai? Let's not forget, the car the police were searching for in the big name was a white Hyundai Elantra 2011 to 2013 model. They kept on saying they want to speak to the occupants in the car. Or occupant. They said that both. I wonder what car he was driving. And he lives just a block away from the girls. We could clearly see that Kaylee was busy with the phone device when she was at the grub truck. She was texting someone and receiving texts. John Jack Showalter seemed, at least for me, that he was there to look after the girls, but not in a positive way. I could see him shaking his head, nodding his head to David Lott. He was joking a lot with Jovito and his Coca-Cola can.
And Joe said in his interview that he doesn't even know him, that he met him that day. But the conversation seemed to look like two people who've known each other for many years. And I wouldn't trust anything Joe Vito says, personally.
What if BK just say that this was a targeted crime and it happened between 3 to 4? Let's go according to the previous timeline. We saw, I don't believe the FBI and the police have any reason to lie. BK's car must have pinged there around 4:05. Could it be possible that BK had contact with Bethany Funk, allegedly, or Dylan Mortensen? Could they have called him pretending like nothing happened so that he could just come there? Because he was there only for 7 minutes. You saw that he ran in and we didn't even see him going in.
And actually when we saw a man or a figure parking at Linda Lane and going towards the direction of Kings Road, the person was there barely for a couple of minutes, if that was BK. So was he called so that he could be framed? Let's not forget these people did not call the police for 8 hours. Jack Showalter is an important person, hoodie guy, although he's been ruled out. Because number one, he's very skilled in hunting. We've seen pictures of him with 2 K-bar knives. He clearly passed that threat to Maddie and said, they're going to get you for that, Maddie, or we are going to get you for that, Maddie. And that's the time Kaylee said, Maddie, what did you tell Adam? Kaylee and Maddie ordered the private driver, Uber driver. He drove them to the corner club around 10:15 at night, and they stayed there right up to 1:30 when they left the corner club. Sorry, he drove them to the corner club and they left at 1:30 or 1:33, a couple of minutes after 1:30, because they reached at the grub truck at exactly 1:44. So I believe either Showalter could be involved, allegedly, or he could be a witness. He knows exactly what happened that night. I didn't see any positive vibes between him and Maddie. Maddie was pointing her finger and said, F you, mister. What was going on that night? Could it be possible that Jack Showalter felt like everything was going down for him? He was kicked out of his fraternity. His brothers has gone to this college actually. Both his brothers are doctors, so it seems like it's a family tradition for them to be studying in Idaho, Moscow. But he seemed to be a person who did not fit in with the fraternities because of all the harassments. We heard that Kaylee had a stalker. What if the stalker was somebody she knew? And he's really important because he passed that threat. What do you mean by they're going to get you for that, Maddie? What did Maddie do? That can't be a coincidence that somebody threatens you around 1:30 and within a couple of hours, you're unlived. Make it make sense. Jack S., Jack D., the 2 Davids, Sigma Chi, Adam, and the people in the grub truck. I wonder what the alibis were like. I wonder if the police took DNA of them. It seems like most of the police integrations was done over the phone because this young man wasn't even there. If he left around 2 a.m., allegedly, and drove to Boise, Idaho, it's possible that something happened at 2 a.m. because we heard E's mother saying 2 a.m. is the hardest time for them all. Why did he leave? He's the only person we know of that left right after the crimes or while the crimes were happening. Jack D seems to know Xana, Maddie, Kaylee, and he had issues with E. I wonder if Brian Christopher Koberger knew Jack Showalter and Jack D. What if they rented him to do this horrific crimes? The reason I say that is because there was 3 unidentified male DNAs. Is that the reason they demolished the house? It was said that when BK was arrested, he said, "Did you arrest the others?" And if that is true, why would he say that? I just have the feeling that Brian Christopher Koberger was roaming around the area. I don't doubt that. But I think he came to 1122 Kings Road for a different reason. He was called by BFM DM. That's what I believe. I don't believe he was there during the crimes. They used him as a scapegoat. And when it comes to his alibi, I partly believe his alibi because he's a person who used to go hiking. He loves running and jogging. He's a night rider. He's always awake at night. He hoovers, cleans, does everything at night. Did they call him because he knows how to deal with a crime scene? Allegedly, because they took 8 hours. 8 hours to call the police. Yes, I understand DM was in a frozen state. She was in a shock, but shock doesn't last 8 hours. Wasn't it leaked out by the grand jury that DM was texting BF? They were texting each other. What was that about? I find it very strange that that small ladder is lying right under Xana's room. Why did Xana ask her father to change her locks or to fix her locks? Was there something wrong? Did she feel threatened? Why was Kaylee studying from home? I believe they pre-planned these events that night, but they wanted Kaylee to be there. I don't believe there was one target in the house. I believe it was 2 separate incidents. That's what I've said from day one. Because just pay attention to what was going on at the band field. And that was around 2:54. Saeed came there to distract the police, I believe. He had the audacity to be watching those crime scene pictures. Was somebody recording? Was there someone in the house recording the murders, and was it live streamed? Maybe in a dark web. The reason I say that is it's impossible that they all were looking at their phone devices at the same time. And I find it strange, personally, that DM opened the door 3 times. When you hear a lot of rummaging, people running up and down in the house, yelling, screaming, somebody saying, I'm here to help, would you usually open your room or your door to see what's happening? I don't think I would have done that. I personally believe if I did not know about these crimes and if I wasn't part of it, I would have been shook. I would have called the police immediately, but first I would have made sure that I don't even open my door. Nobody saw Xana and E between 9 to 1:45, so I don't understand why the police are saying that they came home 1:45. Let's not forget, the police said that DM and BF were asleep, that they came home at 1 o'clock. So if they were asleep, how would they know when E and Xana came home? Did something happen to them outside? I don't believe there was a DoorDash. Absolutely not. That would have been mentioned from the beginning. I do not believe there was a DoorDash. I think they fit all that when they changed their timeline to 4 to 4:25. I believe this all happened. I believe Xana and E were unalived between 2 to 2:30 because you hear the people in the grub truck yelling Xana's name. And I believe something happened to Kaylee and Maddie when they came home at 1:56. Maybe there were already people hiding and waiting for them. Please let me know your thoughts. I appreciate all of my subscribers. I hope you'll have a lovely week. May the 4 victims rest in peace. Condolence to their families, and may the correct justice be served.